Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a really good week this week. So, this week, what's popping and dropping is a candy bar pop up. Isn't that cute? So, what we can do now is go ahead and head over to Design Space, and I'm going to show you all the pieces that come in this file, and I'll meet you there. Okay, guys, so here are all the basic pieces you'll find in the file. Don't forget to go up and name and save your project, and we can go ahead and add any additional pieces you would like to add, and then we can get the pieces cut out, and then once we have them cut out, I'll meet you at the craft table. I'll see you there. Okay, guys, now that we're back at the craft table, why don't we go ahead and get our box pieces out, our box that's going to hold our pop boxes, and our pretty pieces of paper. So why don't we go ahead and do that. We're also going to need a piece of small ribbon and a rubber bands, 3 of them. And the ones I like to use is the Alliance size 12, and they're 1 3/4 by 1/16 of an inch. Also, with our pop boxes, you can use a smaller rubber band because we do double wrap around the inside of it. So just keep that in mind if you don't have that size. Okay, why don't we first work the tray that goes inside of our box, and we can go ahead and work all of the score lines on this piece here. So why don't we go ahead and do that. Why don't we go ahead and get our pretty piece of paper that has the hole on the front of it and glue that on before we go any further. So let's do that. Okay, now let's go ahead and get our ribbon out, whatever ribbon you'll be using. And I'm going to cut off probably about 2 inches or so. So let's do that, cut that off. And that's about how much I cut off right there. So now what we're going to do is just fold it over in a loop. So once we have it in a loop, we're going to just feed it through our hole into the inside of our box. So this is how I've made the loop. Now let's just go ahead and run it through our hole. So let's do that. Then once we have it through the hole, you just need to decide how big you want your loop on this side. And this is about how much I'm putting through. And then what we can do is get some tear and tape. If you don't have that, you can just use glue. And we're going to go ahead and put a piece on each side of the hole. So let's do that. And then we're just going to make sure we have the loop how we want it on the front. And then we're going to just take each piece of the ribbon and spread it onto the tape or glue if you don't have the tape. And then if we have extra, we can just go ahead and snip that off because we don't need it. Now we have our ribbon in place and it's not going to go anywhere, so that's a neat little trick to remember. So what we can do is, if we haven't worked the score line, work it real quick, and then we're going to fold our little tabs down, and we're going to just put glue on each of these tabs right here. So let's do that. Now what we're going to do is take our tabs and place them on the inside of our box on each side. Uh-oh. There we go. Now you can see me putting them on the inside of our box. And now you should have something that looks like that. And now we can take our flap here and fold it back a little and put glue on it. And we're just going to push it to the inside of our box. And it's just going to give us a little extra support that we need. So why don't we go ahead and do that. Now that that's done, we can go ahead and do the same thing to the other end. So why don't we go ahead and finish it up. Okay, now that we have that done, that's what it's looking like. Isn't that looking so cute? Now what we can do is go ahead and put our pretty paper on around our box. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now that we finished our tray up, why don't we get our box and go ahead and work the score lines on it. So let's do that. Okay, so all of our score lines on this piece are going to be mountain folds. So we need to make sure that this tab right here, we're just going to push it to the back and ignore it for now. And we can just go ahead and push this piece all the way to the back so it's out of the way. And then on our two small tabs, what we're going to do is glue it to this section right here. So let's go ahead and put glue on the tabs and do that. Now for this piece here, let's go ahead and just put glue on it, and we're going to adhere it to the inside, and it's just going to give us extra support. So that's what our box is looking like so far. So now what we can do is fold it down, and we're going to take our last two tabs and we're just going to glue it to our box edge here, and that will have a complete box. So just take a little glue and place it on each of these two tabs. So why don't we go ahead and do that and finish this box up. And that's what this piece is looking like finished up. So why don't we go ahead and put our pretty paper on. So let's do that. Look how sweet our box is looking, and the drawer fits in there so nicely, and it is just looking so cute. Okay, now that we have this piece finished up, why don't we go ahead and get our pieces out for our pop boxes. So let's do that. So I have already gone and cut the edges off on each of these pieces so it'll line up a little bit better. And then what we can do is go ahead and work the score lines on all of these pieces. So why don't we go ahead and do that. Now that we have this completed, what we need to figure out is which way our boxes need to go. So we have a tab at this end here, and then no tab, and now we need another tab. But if you notice, we have two pieces that both have tabs on the top here. So what we need to do is just flip this piece over, and then we have a triangle. So we need a piece with a tab and then a triangle here. And then what we can do is lay this down, and we're going to mark X's on the inside, and this is where we're going to glue everything into so it won't be seen. So if we line this back up where we have the tab at this end and no tab, and then if we fold it over, we'll see we have a triangle with a tab, and on the other side no tab. Okay, now we can go ahead and glue our tab onto our other piece with there is no tab. So we're just going to put a little glue on the back of it here and adhere it to our other piece. So let's do that. Now that we have our tab and we see the raw edges are on the inside of our piece along with our X's here. Now what we're going to do is turn it over to the other side, and on these little center tabs here we're going to place glue, and we are going to do that so it'll end up being on the inside of our card. So why don't we go ahead and put some glue on there. And then once we have the glue on like so, we're just going to fold it over into itself and give it a second to dry. So that's what it should be looking like after it's glued. And then what we're going to do is do the other side. So let's make sure our X's are down. And then we're going to take and put glue right in that tab inside there again, and then fold it face down. Let's go ahead and repeat that process again. Okay, we can set these pieces aside and let them dry, and repeat the process with our other boxes. And then we can also put our pretty paper on. If you want a more detailed step by step of the pop box in this video pictured on the right hand corner, you can go here and the link is down in the description. We have our pretty paper on. We can wrap our rubber band 2 times around the inside of our tabs. We'll glue the ends together, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to our other boxes until they're all put. Now that we have our boxes done, we're going to push it in like so. We're going to smush it, and then we're going to fold our little tab down and glue it to this triangle. We're going to flip it and do the same thing to the other side. And then we have a box here. And on this one, you're going to want your box pieces to go into the inside. Now let's do the other boxes and go ahead and put the pretty paper on each of the boxes too. So why don't we go ahead and do that? So we have our boxes done, and we have our little holder box done. So what we need to decide is where we are going to position our boxes. So the first one, we want it to lay back. So it'll lay like that. And then the second one, we want it to lay towards us. And then the third one, we want it to lay back. Okay. So this is going to be the bottom. Again, we want it to push away from us. The second one to us. And the last one back away from us. So we have that figured out. Now what we want to do is glue this box on top of this box. So let's go ahead and do that. And you want to line these up as close as you can. And then once you have them where you want, what we can do is push this one down and this one towards us and give it a good smush. And then this one, we want it to go away from us. So this one's in the right position. So we're going to place it on top of these two cubes. So we're going to take some glue and put it on the bottom and adhere it to the other boxes. And then once we have it on, like so, we can push it down again and give it a good smush. And then we have our little boxes the way we need them. Now when we go in the box, we need to make sure we're pushing the sides in. So like this one, if you notice when I push it down, my sides are coming out. All we have to do is push it on the inside and they'll go in. Like so. And this one's doing the same. So what I'm going to do is just push them on the inside. Excuse me. A good rub down. So our box is done. The way it needs to fold is down, to me, away from me. So this is going to be the front of my candy bar. So we can get our pieces out for our candy bar. And if you notice, open your box, and if you set it in here, we have about, oh, I'm going to say an inch that won't be seen at the bottom. So I start building mine from the top and go down so I can see most of my candy bar. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put my chocolate pieces on top of this. So I'm going to do that. Now we're going to take our piece of chocolate and put it at the top of our box. So I got this piece on. We're just going to give it a little rub down here. And then our next piece we'll put on is our gray piece. And it goes just about up to the A. But before I do that, I think I'm going to put this piece on top of my gray piece. So let's do that. And if you line the bottom up on the bottom of your gray piece, it will line up nicely. Now we can take our other piece and put it on, and it will line up the gray piece right before the A of the edge there. So you want to bump the gray up to the A. Okay, so now we have our candy bar on, and what's going to happen is it's going to fold back and forth. And see how mine is coming up here? So you can either leave it as it is and see if that works out for you. Or, like I did on this one, I cut, you notice a slit in the edge right here. And I say just play around with it and see which one works better for you. So I cut, you probably can't see it very well, but I cut this slice top box here. So when we go to fold it, it will lay nicely. And then when it pops up, it'll look like so. Look cute. Now, what we can do is put it in our box. So I'm going to center mine like so. And to glue it in our box, we're just going to put some glue down here on the bottom and adhere it to our box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then finish mine up, and I'll be back to show you what I've come up with. I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, guys, so here is our cute little finished box card. It says, "You're just like chocolate," and we did a piece of chocolate there. And that's what the front of the box is looking like. And then we can pull it open, and we have our chocolate bar. Isn't that so cute? And then we just did the decoration paper on the side. And that's what it looks like from the back. On the top, when you open it up, it says, "You're just like chocolate sweet." And I did a little Hershey Kisses up there, if you can see it. Let's see if I did. There you go. And then to fold it up, we just put it in like so. Push it in just like that. And then we have the back over here, which on the bottom of the tray, you could put it on this side too. I did a chocolate bar where you can write a message to the person. And then, of course, it just pops right up like so. Do you guys know why the little girl put chocolate under her pillow? She wanted to have sweet dreams. Guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and crafting with me. Don't forget to stop by next week to see what's popping and dropping. Bye.